Okay, let me move on to green energy cuts. Well, the Trump administration has dropped a bomb on renewables. They've halted all offshore wind. To build offshore wind, you have to get a permit or a license from the government. The federal government owns all land from 3 miles extending out. Trump is canceling those. There have been cancellation of green energy tax credits, funding, and mandates. Climate programs have been slashed throughout the federal government. Websites have been re-edited. NOAA, NASA, he wants NASA to stick to space exploration instead of climate. How about that? NOAA, NASA, Department of Energy have had their climate programs slashed. The National Center for Atmospheric Research in Colorado is being closed down, a big climate effort. And then the Trump administration has also withdrawn from many international organizations, and for the second time, the Paris Climate Agreement. We've also had the One Big Beautiful Bill passed by Congress last summer and signed by the president, and that is phasing out all of the wind and solar tax credits for big projects, phasing out solar tax credits as well, and also eliminating the tax credit, as I mentioned, for electric vehicles. Another big factor with electric vehicles is what's going on with zero emissions. Now, we have had 21 states that have zero emission vehicle laws passed or mandates, which said by some date, like 2035 or 2040, an auto dealer can't sell an internal combustion engine car in that state. It must be zero emissions vehicles. But, by the way, let me talk about the past. The 1970 Clean Air Act was passed and says that the federal government and the EPA is responsible for pollution from vehicles. But in that act and later versions, they had an exception. Since California had older vehicle laws for pollution, they said, well, we're going to grant a waiver. The EPA may grant a waiver to California to continue to put laws into place, and other states may follow California's laws. And so California received more than 100 waivers in the last 40 years. But that has all been cut out now. The Congress last summer passed a memorandum canceling those waivers. The president signed it. And so there is no longer any basis for zero emissions vehicles laws in any of these states. There's no legal basis for them. They can't force automakers not to sell internal combustion engine cars. So this is really a big change. And the EPA has rolled back the 2009 endangerment finding. In 2009, the earlier EPA during the Obama administration ruled that carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases were endangering the citizens of the United States. And this has affected power plant laws and vehicle laws, all sorts of things. But Administrator Zeldin has rolled that back now, saying there are people who, in the name of climate change, are willing to bankrupt the country. They created this endangerment finding, and then they're able to put all these regulations on vehicles, on airplanes, to basically regulate out of existence a lot of segments of our economy, and it costs Americans a lot of money. They estimate, and I'm trying to remember the number, I believe it's $1.7 trillion over the next 10 years in reduced regulations and reduced costs to U.S. consumers. This, of course, is being challenged by the courts. It's going to go all the way to the Supreme Court.